Just wow, I just got down watching Takopi'S Original Sin. This is a short mini series. It's only 6 episodes long. Fantastic. Off rip, this series is incredible. It follows these 3 characters. Shizuka, that's the girl you see with the pink camera. You have Marina, she's the blonde. And Azuma, he's the one with the glasses. Also, can't forget our happy character here, our alien friend, Takopii. It was so fascinating. So this follows Takopii. He lands on Earth and he meets Shizuka for the first time and is just happy. She's very depressed. She's going through a lot as he realizes that Earth is completely different from where he comes from, this place of happiness. And he gets a really interesting lesson on just what Earth is all about. As the very first episode is super fucking graphic. I wasn't expecting them to go that hard or to be that dark. But in the first episode, you have Takopii dealing with the fact that Shizuka is really depressed. She's getting bullied by Marina this whole time and tries to give her a gift from her planet. And she ends up, taking her own life with this ribbon. And this makes Takopii go through and try to reverse this stuff and stop this from happening, and basically to help Shizuka find some type of happiness, but it doesn't seem to work. And then this leads to Takopii actually killing Marina because things just kept changing for the worse, and now they have to figure out what to do with the body. And Takopii ends up kind of replacing Marina at some point. So this is where we find out that Marina is actually going through a lot at her home with her mom and her being abusive. There's a lot of themes of child abuse, parents neglecting their child and whatnot. And that plays into the overall theme of what makes these characters and what defines them. So then, as that kind of goes on, we also get introduced to another character, our third character, Azuma. And he is kind of like the smart kid. And his episode 4, was just gut-wrenching because here's this kid that wants to keep the highest grades and the highest standards for his parents. And he looks up to his brother, admires his brother, and he's always just coming up short. And he likes old girl here, you know what I'm saying? He really does. He'll do anything for her. Is trying to also save her, but he is put into a predicament where when this whole thing with Marina goes on, old girl wants him to take the fall and the blame, and he's like, man, I can't do that. And the most fucked up thing about this in his solo episode is his mom, putting pancakes in front of his face, saying like, oh, if you do good grades or if you fail or something like that, you're not going to be able to get these pancakes. It was really fucked up, you know what I'm saying? So it was hard for him to be in that situation, and he blames himself, and he starts to feel the pressure of wanting to take the blame for this, but doesn't ultimately. And I love the conversation he has between him and his brother. And his brother's like, yo, bro, you don't got to do anything. You don't have to live your life to my standards or mom or dad's standards or whatever. You live your life. You do what you got to do. You do what's right. And I really like that. You know what I'm saying? Things take a dark turn for Shizuka's character, because it was established earlier in the series that Chappy, her dog, was the one thing that kept her happy and sane. And now that it's gone, she went to go to her father's to see if Chappy was there, but she sees something even worse, that her father started a whole nother family and doesn't even acknowledge her. And she has these dark thoughts now that she's thinking that these kids might have ate her dog, so she wants to open her stomach. I'm just like, she wants to open their stomach, I should say. And I'm like, whoa. But it even gets crazier as we get revealed that Takopii was actually supposed to be here for Marina and not oh girl. And how that all came about was fucking insane, and it changed everything. That Takopii was supposed to actually kill old girl, but that never ended up happening. But then this last episode was incredible. You know, everything just seems like it can't get any worse. I was thinking to myself, man, is this going to end on a happy note? And surprisingly, it really does. And I really like how this all comes together at the end. As Azuma and Takopii have this conversation, you know, about just everything, and Takopii just feeling regrets, feeling like all of this is his fault. He should have never done this, that, and the third. Azuma's like, don't worry about it, or just, you know, he feels all this guilt weighing on him, and it seemed like this was his final goodbye. But also he ended up fixing Takopi's like little magic camera. I also think Azuma saying goodbye to Takopii that final time was him kind of saying like, I'm gonna go take my own life now, or next time we see each other, you know what I'm saying, maybe things will be different. Now we get to the scene where this whole sequence really broke me. You'd be lying if you said that this scene here, this whole scene didn't have you in like a pool of emotions as Takopii finally confronts Shizuka about everything and just tries to say, I'm sorry. She doesn't really hear none of this. She's just really upset and just goes off on Takopii, and even just bashing his head with a rock, and he's just blaming everything like, yo, why doesn't anybody want me? And just, she's upset with her father, upset with her mom, just upset with everything that's going wrong with her life, and just being bullied, and just like, why can't I have these answers? It was just so fucking sad. And all Takopii could do is say, I'm sorry that this happened to you. All I can do is just try to make you happy as much as possible, and tries to hold her hand. And then she kind of snaps out of it, and it just turns into this montage of her just crying, them staying with each other. Just overall very sad as shit, but you just start to see her personality change, and for the better. But then Takopii comes to the realization that, you know, I need to kind of make this right. So he sacrifices himself, uses his happy power to turn back time, which leads to the end of the episode, where we see her kind of going back to where we were in the first episode. And it's like things are starting to change. Even Marina's trying to change, and she kind of lets her frustrations out. But what kind of stops her from bringing any more harm to one another, they see a picture of Takopii, and then something kind of starts to snap in their head and starts to kind of bring back happy memories. So ultimately, this started off very dark for the first 5 episodes, but then really brings things back full circle and ends on a happy note, even though Takopii realizes, like, I can't change what happened to you, or I can't change who your parents are, but y'all can still make a brighter future now. You know what I'm saying? I think this series was incredible. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below about this. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.